Hey, fourth grade. If you're watching this video, that means you have read today's reading and you are getting yourself ready to begin answering our questions. You have probably noticed by this point there are no vocabulary words assigned for you to define today. However, if you read and you found some words you were unfamiliar with, by all means, add them to this document and define them using dictionary.com, just like we always do. The first chapter we read was titled Once Upon a Time, and this was really where Ruby was asking Ivan to tell a story. She's really sad and missing Stella at this point and wanted something to help keep her mind off of things. And stories were something that she and Stella shared together, given that they're both elephants. This question's sort of tricky to answer because you end up knowing what this story was about because, we continued reading. So I'm curious if in that moment, what did you think he was going to tell? What story do you think he was going to share before you learned what story he was going to share? And then that brings us into the next chapter titled Grunt, where Ivan is really beginning to share memories of his childhood. How did Ivan's sister get her name? What was something that she loved to do that caused her to be named Tag? And how did Ivan's father tell Tag and him that their game was over? The father did something very specific that let them know that he had had enough. And the next chapter, we learn Ivan's real name, the name that his troop, his father, gave him. What was his name? And why do you think Ivan said, "To me, it was everything"? This is sort of a tricky question to answer. So if you're not sure, just tell me what you think. Why do you think that his name was everything to him? The last chapter we read was titled Protector, and I want to know who made up Ivan's troop. We have an idea. He went over and told us exactly who made up his troop. We know Mud was a part of the troop, that is Ivan, and we know Tag was a part of the troop, that is Ivan's sister, and we know Ivan's father, the silverback of the group. Who else was a part of that group? And if you're not completely sure, go back into that chapter and reread, because it does say specifically who made up that troop. We don't know their names, but we know their titles. You know how they had Ivan the silverback and Mud and Tag were the babies. I want to know who was in between the silverback and the babies. And tell me Ivan's feelings about his father. What do we know Ivan felt about his father? If you kiddos have any questions about any of these, as always, send me an email. Bye, kiddos.